I saw this thing lift up out of the ground, just a good 7
Like
feet,
a rocket.
and then turn in the air and torpedo down on Chad's head.
Who the hell are these guys that just won't shut up? Bop, 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 bop.
Bijou and Dr. Fresh like dropped it at the Fractal Forest. So I was like, God damn it!
Wow.
Like the fucking
Yeah,
5
we
minutes I went to
missed
get a fucking poutine.
There was a tent with massages. Like you could book up yourself for a massage. I'm like, hell yes.
And I was always seeing this big handsome Colombian guy, and I'm like, who is this? You're hanging out with Tommy?
Yeah, I also walk in and I see like Baby No Money just like walking around. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh, it's a sign.
Yeah, baby, it's a sign. I also had a purple robe. Remember that purple dress I wore from like?
Oh yeah, you did. And I grab it last second and it's like flying in the wind. And I'm like, James, peg me, daddy. I need to be pegged.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Yeah, Baby podcast. This is a podcast with myself, Thomas Anthony. We got Paul from Control Room, and we got Frank from Monkey Twerk. And we've just been traveling around all this summer together, playing at festivals and making music and having fun, little merry old times. And we wanted to just have an excuse to come together and shoot the shit, talk about random stuff that we think is kind of cool. It might be music related. It might not be music related. We don't even know. We don't even know what this is. We're just kind of shooting the shit and talking about stuff.
I have no clue what's gonna happen here. That's for sure. But one thing for sure is, yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah,
That
we
is
just
one
want to
thing.
be candid and laugh a lot. Just have a good time and entertain you people, of course. Go ahead, Tom.
That is just one of my favorite memories of the summer. Is Paul saying, "Yeah, baby."
I don't actually remember doing that once.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
I just remember talking about it, and then randomly people would come up to me, and I'd say, I'd tell them something, or I'd be telling them where I'm going, and they'd be like, "Yeah, baby." I'm like, "This is a sign from the universe. We need to do something with it."
Yeah, after we talked about it for the first time, like every time someone said "yeah, baby" in context,
Like,
Tommy's like, "Paul,
oh, it's a sign.
yeah, baby, it's a sign."
But over the summer,
sign.
we've all become such good friends, and we've just been honestly having the craziest, like, lots of laughs together. So yeah, we want an excuse to do this, hang out. Frank lives in Amsterdam. Paul's soon.
Yeah, it's already late here.
But we do want to make a disclaimer before we start this that we have no idea what we're talking about. We have literally no idea. We probably aren't going to do much research on the things that we've talked about. This will just be mostly from maybe Facebook news feed information, maybe random thoughts that we saw. I could have seen something like driving by in a bus, and that's my opinion on things. So please don't take anything
whatever
seriously.
it is. Yeah. Exactly. No, nothing seriously, and we're definitely not good role models. That is for sure.
Definitely not. We make music. That's our area of expertise. We can do that pretty well. Everything else, we don't know what we're doing, and that's. We just want to let you know that.
Don't tell my wife that.
Yeah, right on. Well, so I think we're going to start off by kind of just like recapping our summer and talking about all the crazy times we had and how I guess I met Frankie this summer through Tommy.
December was wild. I was at Shambhala, right? That was
at Shambhala. Yeah, because I'd known Tommy for about 6 months before we met, and because I took his course, and I was always seeing this big handsome Colombian guy, and I'm like, who is this? You're hanging out with Tommy.
Well, the funny thing is that
Frank guy you're talking to.
You started showing up with Tommy around Shambhala, and I, for some reason, had this vibe that I already knew you. Oh yeah, it's Paul and Tommy. And then it wasn't until after, probably the day after, that I realized that you were Control Room. And I knew about Control Room being on the mentorship, but I didn't know it was you. I totally thought that I knew you from before. It was it was very familiar. It was easy to make it happen.
Yeah, and maybe that's just the effect of social media and me being there, or maybe that was a sign.
You being this handsome?
Yeah, or it was a sign from the Yeah Baby gods that this is a good idea.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, that was a Moontrix. That was such a nice also show with Moontrix at the living room. It was mega packed. It was ridiculous good.
Was that before? That was before you played? No, it was after you played, right?
No, that was after. Yeah, Montrix
After, yeah,
played
yeah.
on Friday or Saturday, and then you guys were bouncing also with the Fractal Forest. I think there was something else going on there too. It was just awesomeness all around.
I gotta say, this year at Shams was the best year I've ever been there. Definitely got like the artist treatment rolling as your +1, Frank. That was the sexiest thing ever. First of all, we roll in past all the cars. I'm like, this is amazing. Go in. They're just like, here's all your passes. You have a tent right behind the living room stage. Go nuts. And I was like, wow, this is so much cooler than any of the other times I've gone. Like,
yeah, here's a bar. Here's some coffee. Here's some cookies.
Yeah, coffee, cookies. Like, oh my goodness.
There's a tent with massages. Like, you could book up yourself for a massage. I'm like, hell yes.
Yeah, I also walk in and I see like Baby No Money just like walking around. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was so
cool.
trippy.
Yeah.
That was so trippy.
Well, that was my first one. And I agree. I don't think it could have went any better. Because I like, obviously knowing you guys, got to do the artist thing with you guys, and then that night we spent the last night when House Call did their like stage takeover, we spent like the whole night on stage.
That was a dope night. Yeah,
that was a dope night. That's when we bonded. I just like because like all of my favorite DJs were playing that night anyway. Like
all the homies were there.
Yeah, and like all them kinds of people. But I'm sure they were wondering like, who the hell are these guys that just won't shut up?
So that's something we've been saying for the last like.
The funny thing was that people would join saying Bob without knowing what the fuck we were talking about. And we're like, yeah, Bob, and it was just even funnier because nobody knew what the fuck was that. But you were saying
good phrase. Yeah, we've been saying bop 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 over the whole summer and just chanting these like getting these like crowds going, just saying bop bop bop. And where that all came from was Paul and I and a couple of friends. We went to or they came over to my house. I think we went to saw a movie or something first. Maybe Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it might have been that. Yeah, Doctor Strange, and we watched comedy.
Yeah, then we came back to my house and watched comedy, and it was Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's comedy, a comedy show, and it was like the one where he did it in his living room, and he was talking about. He's like, man, I went over to Jerry Seinfeld's house, and everybody was so excited, and he had this big brick oven pizza, and everybody was yelling, "Bop, bop, bop, yeah, Jerry, bop, bop, bop," and then Kevin Hart builds a huge brick oven pizza, and he brings all his friends over to his house, and he's trying to start the chant, bop, 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 and all his like friends are like, yo, we ain't starting this. Like, what are you talking about? Brick oven pizza? Yeah, that's what it is. Brick oven pizza.
and I saw the stand up. I didn't remember. You guys started saying it. I was just hell yeah. I was excited. I was like, yeah, baby, this sounds like a beat. Like we're bopping. You just bop. And then when it made sense, even more sense. But I really liked it just as a sound. For me, it was like the sound of the party at that one for you guys. So like I was feeling.
It was good. Well, it wasn't really a thing because we watched that. That would have been in like probably like March or April when we watched that comedy thing, and then we didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't talk about it until probably Shambhala.
Yeah.
And when we just started doing it again, it was weird.
Yeah, it was pretty random too. Yeah, just
super random.
The body got suspended.
Yeah. So Bob.
Yeah.
Bop is a branded baby phrase in 6 countries, so everyone can keep their hands off our bop.
And then we started a bop song, but then it became something else, and then we ended up doing the Mommy remix, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a crazy summer. We were like, what did we do? We were like, after we bonded at Shams, partied a whole bunch, and then, well, Frank, you had a wild summer coming over here from Amsterdam. Playing these festivals, Shams, Vibes, Emotions, like on every weekend, basically a festival.
It was long. It was long and exhausting and awesome summer. Like sweet. Because in Amsterdam, I am 8 hours ahead. So the lack of sleep is real when doing those fucking long weekends. But then I had to go up a few times back and forth. Because I also was going to Colombia to shoot a documentary about Colombian traditional music, which is something else. But I was just going back and forth between Amsterdam, Colombia, and Canada. But every time in Canada, we went full send from Thursday to Monday, basically. And that was several weekends of the summer in a row. And I think Shambhala was the beginning of it all. It was the first one. I was when I showed up the first one. And it
Well,
was
it ended at
after that,
Wickedwood. Yeah, because
Yeah, ended at
Wickedwood
Wickedwood.
was the last Canadian festival, and that's where I stopped. And then these guys flew back to Europe to party for like 2 or 3 more weeks at ADE.
Yeah, we did Malta first. Tommy and I
Yeah, Malta.
we went to Defected Malta, Defected the UK label, and then we came to AD to Amsterdam. It was all a week of crazy. We went from like really UK chords kind of house music to like hardcore techno of all kinds in AD, and then you stayed for Halloween, Tommy.
Halloween, that
We
was
played the
awesome.
boat party in Amsterdam. And yeah, now we're gearing up again for next summer. Already launched the WOMP today, the WOMP ticket. So yeah, it's a never. The problem is that the fun never stops.
Dude, the fun literally never stops. It's like one thing I tried to like learn. I was like, okay, Monday, let's try and write some music. Like, let's get back into routine after being like exhausted and socializing because so all the socializing I found it is a lot. Like, I just need a day to shut the fuck up and not talk to anybody.
It's a little work.
Just,
It's a little work.
but also, like before summertime, like I just like locked myself in the studio and was like, I'm gonna write a whole truckload of music. And then the first couple of days at Shams, like I don't know if any of you guys experienced this, but I was like kind of stupid when I was coming to like talking. I was like, I don't know what I couldn't talk. Like, really, it was hard for me to start.
I felt socially awkward all summer. Like for the first half, I was also like dealing with like a breakup at the time, so I was like kind of, woe is me, sad dogging.
But it was good because we did a Vancouver trip because of that. You know, it was did. Like, you never know what's good and what is bad.
yeah. We went to Vancouver.
And look at all the pashminas we have now.
I know, we have so many pashminas. There's a funny story behind that. I don't know if we'll get into that. But anyway, yes, I felt awkward at some point talking to people. Especially with all these role models around, like role model DJs at Shambhala that I was meeting, that people like I'm like a fan of. And I'm just
it is hard, yeah, exactly. It's hard to know what to say or who to talk to. Which was really what made it fun for us. We were just hanging out, the three of us, and then of course connecting to friends that we like any of us would know, and then we just make it easy. But you're not just there, just standing to see who you can talk to. We're just fucking hanging out. And
I feel like we were just really hard to miss because like there's like just this crew of DJs just cackling like hyenas everywhere they went.
Like, who are those idiots?
How did they get in?
Who are those three fucking stooges just fucking around?
Although I must say, we did look fantastic in our outfits. We killed it in the outfit game. Like Frank in your sexy purple robe, and Paul in your sexy like leopard robe.
I also had a purple robe. Remember that purple dress I wore? From, like,
oh yeah, you did.
I had to take it off. It's like.
But my favorite is the leopard. We got that was all before WOMP. We got the same leopard print coat, the robes. Yeah, we were dressed up pretty fabulous. I must say, we killed it.
It felt a little bit weird going back to normal day attire, like sweatpants and black shirts. Like I miss wearing a robe everywhere.
I don't know. I'm a button-up t-shirt. I'm like a button-up shirt kind of guy. Like I don't know. I'm not as like. So it's nice. I really have to go out there to wear like the some of that's clothes. It's stepping outside of my comfort zone.
No, but I like it that you keep it in character. Like you're the serious business guy, and that's it. You just put it out there. But Tom, it works.
You didn't guess that, Tom? You're like you seem pretty comfortable.
But I was gonna say also, Tommy, that Shambhala was especially dope for you because you did get a bunch of tracks played from a lot of people.
Yeah,
that was part of the fun of the Fractal.
I was saying like this year was crazy just because like the first part of the year I started out, I was like writing a bunch of soft stuff like mid tempo and like liquid drum and bass. And then once shows started opening up again, which is crazy to think that there wasn't shows open up at the beginning of this year. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was just writing music in my room. I was like, I really want to play music or make music that people will actually play out and that'll people be partying to. And yeah, a ton of people, Case the Mondays, Rumpus, Ben Fox, Who else? There was a bunch of people that played.
Fresh too.
Yeah, so me and Paul, the last day at Shams, we were there. We were posting up because we heard through the grapevine that one of our buddies was going to be playing part of the Fractal Fam Jam, and we were like, hey, we love all these DJs. Let's stay till the bitter end, and we just want to support our homies and just be there. And we waited, we stayed the whole night. It was 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or something like that, and we were so tired, just dancing. I looked at my Fitbit and I had 67,000 steps. I was like, all right, crushed it today. Fuck yeah. And then I looked at Paul. I'm like, okay, let's go get some friggin' poutine. And we dipped and got some poutine and then went to bed or whatever. And then several months later, I got a message from some random guy from the dance floor. He's like, hey, isn't this your Laser Beam song? He's like, Bijou and Dr. Fresh dropped it at the Fractal Forest. So I was like, God damn it. Wow. The fucking 5 minutes I went to get a fucking poutine. And these motherfuckers.
We were there all night. Yeah.
All night. A good 9 hours. We put in a shift that night.
Man. I remember how I felt though after that. I don't know how some people can do it, how people can party so long. I think it's because I get up too early. I don't like to sleep in. I like to get up.
That's true.
Probably why. But yeah, 7 a.m. rolled around, man, and I was like, holy shoot, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then with that heat, it's just it's if you didn't sleep early, it's gonna be impossible to sleep after.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hot.
So I think you guys should explain. So we're all DJs, yes. Thomas Anthony control room. I'm half a control room, and Monk Twerk. Frank is half.
I'm half a Monkey Twerk. Yeah.
Half a Monkey Twerk, and then you guys also have the Womp, right? Because we mentioned that a couple times. Explain what the Womp is.
How about we go through the summer sequentially? So we talked about Shams. That was pretty sick.
Okay.
The next one up was Vibes, and we bonded, or I guess no, Frank, the next one you had was Emotions. You went to Emotions next. What happened at Emotions?
Yeah, I went to Emotion. Emotion is in Saskatchewan. Super dope crew. That was super fun. A few people from Mountain played too. And I went down there with some homies. But right after Emotion, the weekend after was the Womp. So we did the whole week. We ended up going.
It was Vibes after Emotions.
Vibes.
Oh, remember the one? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what we. So throughout the summer, Frank flew into Edmonton, and he was basically staying at my house in between all the festivals, which was so awesome. One of my best friends gets to come, and we just post up, broing it up all summer. Fantastic.
So much music, so much food, so much
food and ice cream.
So much ice cream.
He came back after Emotions, slept a couple days because he just went straight from Emotions basically to Shams, and then we had all been talking. We're like, hey, we're going to this. We're headlining this festival. I was pedaling on the Friday night. Frank was playing on this headlining the Saturday night. And we all wanted to work on a song together. And we thought, hey, let's challenge ourselves. Let's make a challenge. Paul, come over Friday morning and we'll start the song in the morning. We'll finish it, mix it, master it in the afternoon, and then we'll play it and get some video footage of it that night. So we sat.
It was going to be the Bob song. It was going to be the Bob song.
It was going to be the Bob song. It was going to be the Bob song. But then we just thought the song, at least one of my favorite songs that I kept hearing at Shams was the Mommy by Chris Lorenzo. And we were like, hey, let's just remix the shit out of this song. And we sat there,
so good,
cranked it out super friggin' hard. Honestly, we were all in the zone, just dialing it in that day. Cranked it out, went to this festival, and it was because Frank's wife was back in Amsterdam at this time, and it was basically just a big boys trip, and all our just guy friends ended up coming to this festival. And we all just bonded super hard and just it was just the most bro-y time ever. Dancing around, all a bunch of guys dancing around. And then we got to play our song in front of all these people. Killed it super hard. Everyone loved it a lot. And that was a great weekend overall.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had a really good time. And that's when I showed you guys Bombaleo.
Oh yeah, that was Bombaleo.
Dude, Vico C.
Vico 5
in the house.
Vico 5.
That'll come up later, but
Vico C's a reggaeton artist actually. Vico 5.
Yeah, Vico
Dude, awesome.
So I showed him this Tech House song by this awesome producer Vico 5, and then they fell in love with him, and then we ended up going to see him later. I had heard of him on through social media. I remember just seeing his ad or whatever that he put on social media, and it was
I'm back.
him on a roof, here. Right? That's what it was, or was him on a boat?
Yeah, he was. He's DJing on a roof.
Yeah.
See, Vico 5, dude, so good. So good. That track was immediate fire. Immediate fire.
Yeah. So
That was a good time. That was a good weekend, man. That was. I remember one of my favorite memories of vibes was at the end, right at the end, right before we left. We were eating those amazing crepes, and then we were just kind of just tired and ready to go. And then Michael, the robot dancer, Flowbot, he just walks in and then he just turns on his he got like a boombox, right? And then I want a night, and then that song goes. I'm like, oh, dude, it was such a moment, and I never heard that song before, and it stayed with me the whole summer, the whole fucking summer. I've been singing that one.
Yeah, you were all summer ripping that for sure.
Oh,
I was trying to think of that too. I'm like, what was another good moment that happened that weekend? It was just obviously playing our song. It was a couple times. It was a big spot.
Well, that was good. Every time we played it, yeah, that was.
And there was so many people there doing acrobatics, and like flaming swords and shit.
That
was like that's the vibe of vibes.
It was a good vibe. We got lost. We got lost in the forest and came back from a long walk.
Yeah, that's right.
We didn't get lost. We just kind of walked into the forest, but it was.
Oh yeah, our walk into the forest.
Yeah.
We heard on flip flops. I should have brought my sneakers, but yeah, that was a great weekend. Then after that weekend was the Womp, so we spent the week buying things to get ready. We went to the what's the name of the store? The Value Village.
Value Village.
Yeah.
To get shit for the Womp. And then the Womp that's already 4 festivals in a row. Already a hell of a summer.
I gotta say, the Womp was hella successful this year. The vibes were immaculate.
Womp is their festival. These guys run the Womp.
Yeah, so it's Frank, myself, Josh, who's called Big Daddy, and a DJ from Edmonton called Gatsby or Cody, and we all put it together. And it's just a small little festival, slowly growing every year, and we put a lot of love into that bad boy.
It was great.
We started in 2018 because it was Josh's birthday, and then we simply. Well, let's just bring everybody in. So the idea was to bring like a DJ from like different crews because there's different promotion crews in Edmonton. So try to bring DJs from all the crews so we can all join in a whole new community party. And then it got started like as a hush hush too. It wasn't publicized. It was a
birthday
private.
Party basically.
It was a birthday party and it was private and we reached a few hundreds. But then we kept it private the years after, and it was just invite only. And then the first time we're gonna go actually out was 2020 for the pandemic, and that of course got scratched. And then we did after the pandemic like a small one, like a small version, which was called not the Womp, but Let's Play Again. That was called that event, but it was like a Womp in the bush. And then, so this year was the actual official public Womp, and it was so fun, dude.
And I gotta say, I'm super stoked about it because we have it like dialed in right now. Because it initially started as like a birthday party, and Josh, he's just a cool ass dude. He's the coolest, nicest dude ever. And he was like, guys, I built this stage for my birthday. Like the DJs can come in. He's like, I got this. It was like this old Western like font metal piece. He's like, it's called the River Womp. We'll stick it on the stage. And he like hand painted the stage, like these cool like 3D paint kind of thing. And initially we got a bunch of people. We got a couple buses. It's right by Entwistle, so the Pembina River, and we've got all these people floated down the river. Then we piled them back to the farmland and had a little dance party. And the first was it the first two that were 2 days or 1 day?
It was the first two was 1 day, but it was called the River Womp because Josh wanted to do like a flow down the river. So we did it. We did like a normal one, then an organized one in the first 2 years. But then after that, the river got really dangerous, and it was always just hard to do it. So we stopped doing it. So we cut it out of the weekend, and then just called it the Womp. And then this year we brought amazing talent from Vizcaya. My boys Control Room on Friday night. Who else we had on Friday night? We had Average Citizens
Average
from
Citizens was
Vancouver.
there. Sims played that night, or she was the next night? She was the next night.
Didn't you guys all
Save
play
played on
Saturday night?
Save
You guys played
played
Saturday.
We played Saturday. We Are Robots played
We Are
Friday
Robots,
night.
Birchill.
Virtual Virtual from Calgary.
Ready for Birchie, baby.
Birchie, baby. They same thing. They came from different cities and played throughout the weekend. Freddie J played on Thursday night. It was a dope weekend. But the funniest part was that we had that storm shut it all down, and it became the best part of the whole weekend. It was all of the DJs just karaokeing on our RV. It was a mess after that, but it was quite the karaoke session.
I thought about that after the like that happened, like a couple days after, and I was like, these are the reasons I got into music, was to like have friends in music who all share like a similar vision or whatever, like the love of music, and then just hanging out with the homies and singing karaoke in a fucking RV.
That was
so
incredibly fun. That was
an epic moment. Sure.
I got to say another highlight moment.
Thank
goodness happened. But as the like basically the storm started happening throughout the afternoon, and like the trees started waving in the air, and we were at the stage. Kilma was playing, and she was playing this dark techno,
from Winnipeg,
and I could see the storm over top of the or in the sky rolling through, and the trees are just kind of like bending, like kind of crazy. I'm like, whoa! And she's playing this dark techno music that's just going so well with the storm. I was like, this is sick, but also we should probably be aware that there's a storm coming. So I went and grabbed all the important stuff out of the stage, like some of the lighting, some of the gear, and brought it back to just the campsite where we could keep it inside. And then as like I get back to the campsite, I see this like massive storm cloud just coming in. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this is crazy. And I also didn't peg my tent down. So I was like, oh, I should peg my friggin' tent down, because I just don't have anything holding it down. So then I asked James, who is the owner of the Wubs in the Woods. And when he's the owner of Wubs in the Woods, he was camping right beside us. And I was like, James, do you have any tent pegs? He's like, yeah, I got you. And he was taking his time doing this, and I was like kind of like watching the storm, putting things in my car, battening down the hatches, and then it starts violently. My tent is just shaking like a motherfucker. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, okay. I'm like, James, I need those pegs. And then he's like, yeah. I think he was doing shots in the trailer, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing.
I love James.
And then finally my tent just like lifts up out of the ground, and I grab it last second, and it's like flying in the wind. And I'm like, James, peg me, daddy. I need to be pegged. He throws me a big bag of pegs.
Never say that again.
And then I peg down the tent. Like that is put out that fire. But then also, one of my friends who came, he's like one of my best friends. His name's Chad. He was dressed as a safari guy, and James had his tent that just like what are those a canopy tent or whatever that you just sit under while you're camping.
Yeah.
And I saw this thing lift up out of the ground, just a good 7
like
feet,
and
then turn in the air and torpedo down on Chad's head. He's just looking the opposite way, and boom, right off his head. And then I like look, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, are you okay? Later or earlier that day, he bought a safari hat from Value Village that legit was a safari hat, and it was like an actual one where like rocks would like hit it, and it dunked off this, and he didn't even have a scratch on his head. Like, thank you, Rave Jesus, like for
dude, the safari gods just saved
how
me.
did I miss that? I don't know how I missed that, because Caleb had a massive tent with his girlfriend, and we were trying to button that one down, but it just like folded in on itself.
That one got destroyed.
It was destroyed. Yeah, it was huge tent, way too big for.
Oh man, I never tent. This was the first time I RV because Ben and Pam wanted to RV, so we got in. So, but I am happy it happened to man, because otherwise it would have been rowdy too. I
just had a pop-up tent. So I just like folded it like a taco and stuffed it under someone's truck. It was so convenient.
Was that one that he gave you?
What?
That one. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that Pam gave me.
Oh yeah.
Tent taco. Taco tent.
Yeah. So then after that night, the storm ends. Everything fired back up. I don't think we got through the whole lineup again, and it went perfect. The rest of the night was great. And then
we have to stop like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, and then me and Tommy just didn't go to bed. We just stayed up.
We just got annihilated drinking White Claws. Like usually I don't drink that much. I think that was the first time I got drunk that whole summer. And Paul is like, "We're staying up, baby." He's like,
we're staying up, baby. We've been good all summer. We earned this.
We all stayed up. I just didn't know what you guys were. But
I was so drunk. I was hungover for like 3 days. I was just laying in my car. Pam and Ben like came. They're like, "Are you gonna come home today?" I was like, "I'm not driving today." I just slept in my car.
all I know is that I love the White Claws. You know, the White Claws. I got introduced to White Claws on that weekend with you, and it was on the Vibes weekend. And it's just the best idea. It was just so many kinds of so many flavors. I love all the flavors.
White Claws are good. Thanks for driving me home, Ken. That's where that was going. Thanks for driving me home.
So that was the WOMP. But the WOMP was amazing. So the WOMP, we just launched it again. It's happening again this year, 2023, on August 10 to 13. So the same second weekend of August. And it's gonna be again another amazing adventure.
Yeah, and it's honestly only going up from here because the biggest changes that we made this year was that we had everything out in the open field before, which was okay. But honestly, moving everything, we cleared out a whole bunch of trees inside like the forest area. And now both stages are in the forest. It's like a really cool, like
so amazing,
just vibey area that sounds really good. We had the sound, PK sound dialed in this year. All the artists killed it. They came like they're playing their last set ever for DJing in their entire lives. Everybody killed it super hard.
One of my favorite memories was the guys making wine with their feet on the little kiddie pool by the stage.
What a creative costume! Holy shit!
Oh, did you see that? Didn't see that? You didn't see that, dude? There were two dudes, and they had this like a kiddie pool. And then it was filled with grapes, right? Like filled with grapes. And then they have this outfit. There's two of them. They have like Italian or French outfits or something. Maybe
it was French. They had berets and little things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the berets and the mustaches and the striped shirt, and they look French. That's what it was. And they're just dancing on these grapes, and then on the side of the pool, there's like a little like a faucet. So you could go in, open the faucet, and then drink wine from the faucet.
But did they have condoms on their feet or something, or they just have dirty?
No. That's the funny thing. The grapes.
Oh, natural, baby.
The grapes in the pool, they were just the grapes in the pool. But of course, you would think that it was wine, but then they had like a hidden wine big bag.
I guess that makes sense. They obviously weren't crushing grapes and making it.
Yeah. So that, like, of course you would think that. And the funny thing is, some people did it thinking it was their feet. Like, you know what, fuck it, I wanna give it a try. But it was just a bag on the side. So it was just normal fresh wine. And you're like, whoa, wow, this is actually pretty fucking delicious. Like these guys have some magic in their feet or something because it's tasting fantastic. But it was just it was a trick, but it was hilarious. I loved it.
I had a margarita with Birchie.
Well, he was doing margaritas after his set. He had like a blender and giving margaritas to everyone in the dance floor. It was ridiculous. That's his thing too. He does that. Like he loves to do the margaritas on his sets.
This was the first summer I got to hung out with Birchie, and he is a friggin' beauty. Just a friggin' beauty.
Is dope.
Great music, dope. Super duper solid DJ.
Baby.
It's Birchie.
Yeah, man. He's from Calgary, and he was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. He was like the top 10 DJs to see by DJ Mag North America or something like that. Like dope from Calgary. Yeah. He was like a top 10 DJ to watch.
What? That's insane. I didn't know that. Congrats, Birchie.
Maybe at the pandemic or right before the pandemic, but he's dope. He's dope.
I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, we had a couple more raves to get through here. Moving on.
So after the WOMP, we did what?
Vancouver.
Oh, was it Vancouver? No.
Wasn't it?
No, maybe Wops in the woods.
No, Wops is before Vancouver.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So then it was Wubs next. Yes.
Oh yeah, it was Wubs, and then
Wubs, because it was Wubs, Vancouver, Wicked Woods. So we go to Wubs in the Woods next. That's James Diebold's party. And that one.
Oh yeah, because I went to Colombia, come back, and then Wubs was dope.
And that was probably the loosest I got out of all of them. Like we had a good time at Wubs in the Woods.
Well, James took care of us, man. He got the coconut tequila shots.
Yes, the coconut.
The coconut tequila shots.
That leads well into what I was going to say. So,
it started at the Womp, but then it finished at the Womp.
So there was this fishing rod with a dildo on it.
Oh my god!
And wait, before you tell that, one thing I just want to give a shout out to James for is that he invited us to play. Was that your first festival last year, Paul?
What's that?
Wubs in the Woods.
That's my second time playing.
No, but was last year your first festival?
What, the first time that Wubs in the Woods was the first time I had played a festival? Yes.
Yeah. So last year he threw the festival and it was super banging, probably the best vibes. Like the weather was amazing. It was just a really, really dope festival. So I was super excited to go back this year. And he had only one stage last year, or two stages last year. It was like the main stage, and then behind it there was a little dome stage. And then this year he took it to a whole new level and built this amazing big stage with like a
rooftop and a ceiling. It was
like a lamp, like
chandelier,
the DJ booth.
Oh yeah, like a chandelier.
Chandelier, and then so it had like amazing lighting, but then a whole group, like big stage where like as the DJ played, you could bring up all your friends and everybody could dance on the stage as well, and it just created such a sick vibe. Like just being around like not just one DJ up there, but all the homies just dancing and partying. He killed it on that stage design.
Yeah, he killed it. And so since we were all up there was lots of fucking around going on. So I don't know whose dildo on a fishing rod it was. It was probably Tommy's, knowing Tommy, but
it's gotta be James. Like, he was too friendly with it.
It was probably James. Anyway, I cast out to the crowd, and this one of the guys in the crowd, you can see him, he's like coming in like a shark, and he jumps and he's like wiggling in the air
like a
shark, bites it perfectly and rips it off the fishing rod, and I just about died of laughter. It was one of the funniest things I saw all summer.
I actually I was recording all this in super duper slow motion, and I made a little fantastic news segment that's coming out here pretty soon of this exact moment of this dude. Like he's just like in the crowd looking like not even looking. He just like sees the dick out of his peripheral.
He was in hunting mode. He felt it. He felt the dick. He's like
I'm getting some dick tonight, whether I like it or not. And then he
too funny. Too funny.
Free Willy out of there.
Addicted
in
the sound of jazz.
Very, very good time.
Yeah, well, good. James, when Neo and Steve was playing, James also, he brought out a canoe, and he rowed a canoe.
Yes.
In the crowd.
That was also super.
I don't know how I missed that. That was the one thing I missed that I didn't.
It was when Steve was playing, so I don't know.
Steve, New Steve, super, super dope. Well, maybe you just went to they get a White Claw. That was the thing with the White Claw. They would just go down so quick.
So fast. That was a great couple nights. That one was a party.
That was
a good party too. Yeah, same thing.
And then we stayed this summer was kind of unusual, probably because we were just having so much fun. But like before this, like in previous festivals, I usually go to festivals and then like dip out because I want to get some work done during the week or whatever, and not be like a piece of shit during the week and feel tired. But there was just so much fun stuff going on at all these festivals that we were all hanging out that we wanted to vibe. And we staged for the Sunday night for our buddy Roberto, who's part of We Are Robots. He came in on the Sunday night and absolutely demolished it. He killed it so hard. Shout out to Tito. He lives in Calgary.
Love you, Tito.
Him and Kurt are part of the duo We Are Robots. Great producers, just beauty human beings. If you're in Calgary, go check them out. They're super duper sick. Love those guys.
Deadly. They'll be on here at some point.
Yeah, they'll be on here at some point for sure.
Little foreshadowing.
It's beauty. But actually Roberto saved our asses that last day at Wubs, because we were like, Frank, as we were driving to Wubs, I'm like, Frank, should we get some food? Like we're gonna have to camp. He's like, yeah. He's like, the only thing. He's like, no, Tommy, the only thing that I eat at festivals is I bring some bread and then I get some meat and I get some mustard. put it all together, and I'm fed for the weekend.
And
cheese. I'm like, do we need ice or anything? He's like, no, we'll be fine. I'm like, all right. So we demolish all this
we
bread.
demolished the first night.
Mustard fucking coming out of my fucking nipples at this point. And then with the last day, we're like, oh man, we need some food. So we hollered at Tito. We're like, can you grab us some lunch meat and some bread? He comes with this organic vegan mayo, some sexy ass hummus, and just croissants.
He's so Italian too, because it was just like Italian cuisine at its best, for camping, like croissants and sauces and just types of salamis and types of cheeses. Like, hey. So good. It totally saved the rest. And that was a good night. You left at that moment, Paul, right, for the last night?
So I had to go down to Vancouver to deal with some personal stuff a day early. So I left. Yes,
which is what took us to Vancouver.
Which is why I went to Vancouver, because of because of women. That's what it was. Just call it what it is.
Isn't that the reason for everything else?
Yeah, so we go down there, and then we don't need to talk about that specifics, but we rented an Airbnb and we just toured around the city. Oh, and then that's when we met Vico 5 that night.
Vico 5, he made the most amazing amount of tacos for us. It was
we hollered at him too. We were in Vancouver and we're like, okay, like let's see what we're gonna do here. And I was like, man, I'm like, we've been listening to this Bambaleo song. I'm like, we should just hit up Vico. We've never met him. I briefly talked to him online, and we were like, yo, like, what are you up to? He's like, oh, you guys are in town? Well, come over to my house for some fucking tacos. We're like, oh, okay.
Sure. Like, fine.
Roll over to his house, and he walks in. The most welcoming motherfucker ever. He has this cute little dog named Cheeky. It was a corgi, super cute corgi. We roll in. He's like, "Hey guys, come in!" And he has like 7 or 8 steaks just frying on the grill. And I'm like, "Whoa, what are these for?" He's like, "Oh, I make you the best tacos you've ever eaten." And he was just the fucking man. Like,
yeah, the guacamole he made was great. And and then he's just sitting on these absolute tech house like heaters.
It was good. It was just great tech house and tacos. It was like a whole night. And it was so many tacos. It was just so many tacos. It was so just like one small. It was like he fed us, and it was amazing.
Tacos with perfect like plan. I gotta describe how sexy these fucking tacos were. There was like they were like handmade from his mom's, the taco shells, and then he put 2 shells, a shell, then cheese, then shell, fried that up, then made his own salsa and guacamole. And then cut up steak, put that in with cheese and some lettuce.
Oh wow.
Fucking God, Vico.
Yeah.
And then he just slapped us back with some tech house, some original tunes. He was like, just great.
And we went to Cactus Club after with him and his friend, and we got into the booze, a lot of booze.
What were those things called? Adrenalines or whatever from Cactus Club?
We were drinking adrenalines and whiskey sours. If you had a whiskey sour from Cactus Club.
So Paul, this whole time, the whole summer, he's like, hey guys, if we go to Vancouver, he's like, the one thing I just want to do is like, I want to go to fucking Cactus Club off the beach. Like, I want to go to fucking Cactus Club right off the beach. And then we're like making plans. We're like, yeah, we'll go to Vico's. We'll see what's up. He's like, gotta go to Cactus Club. Because we're like,
it's gotta happen.
We're going.
Yeah. I love that place. Because Kelowna, like I always go to the one in Kelowna, like because they have one in the marina there. That's the other second best. Or those 2 are the best ones for sure.
Yeah. They got, whatever is by the water is always the best for sure. It's already a vibe.
Yeah,
but yeah, those whiskey sours were dope too.
Was that did we go on the seawall? Was that the first day or the second?
That was the day before.
Yeah, the first day we went to the seawall with Daniel from Our Citizens and Celeste. And it was the 3 of us, and then it was dope. We just biked around the seawall. We got to this hidden like a beach area full of people drumming. It was like a gigantic
oh my god, the drum circle
with
all kinds of instruments. And it was dope because it was like the wave of the sounds. It was just people like like minutes and then and people just coordinated to do the beat and slow. It was like and again. And it was under 5-10 minutes of the same drumming. It was a vibe. It was quite
It was a
intense.
vibe. All I remember is that one guy who was like jacked, and he was just like shirtless, wearing these like cool baggy pants, and he was just
With
like
the little
kind of
triangle?
in the middle of the drum circle, and all he did was just vibing for the sun, just like shaking his fucking titties.
Wouldn't he just
Dude,
let out a bear scream every once in a while though? Just
Yeah.
just like one rip.
So funny, dude. That was a vibe. Yeah, the drum street club at I forget the name of this bitch, but yeah, it was a good time.
It wasn't
That was
Wreck Beach.
with
It
Danielle
wasn't Wreck
and
Beach.
Celeste. It wasn't rugby. No.
No. And then our
Everything
friend
else.
Just to
Celeste.
clarify, the beach, right? Which beach was it?
We don't
I,
remember.
for, I forgot the name. Danielle knows from our citizen. She was the one that took us there.
But then our friend Celeste took us to the next day to this.
Yes.
I don't remember the name of it. It was like this art center that had. It was just like an area for creative people, whether it's like graphic design.
She works there.
Yeah, the Boom On Studios. That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
She works there. Yeah, she has her own office in there. That
Yeah.
was dope too. That was
Who's
amazing.
the mixing
Yeah.
engineer we met? Like, because he's pretty well known mixing engineer or producer. Remember the one studio we were in? Ah, fuck.
Oh, neighbor has a studio there. Yeah.
Yeah, neighbor had a studio there. And then there was like a guy DJing on like the radio downstairs.
Oh
Yeah, like out on the street.
Yeah.
It was so dope. Such a dope building. Yeah, that was a good day
Yeah.
too. It's sponsored by Celeste. She picked us up. She did us so well.
Yeah,
And
he picked us up, took us to all the dopest spots.
He's wonderful. Thank you
Yeah,
for that
that's it.
amazing day.
So awesome.
Okay. So for time here, I think we're on perfect timing to talk about Wicked Woods.
Oh yeah, I get that. After that was the end. Wicked Woods was the last after Wops.
I was not prepared.
Bestie.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about the backpack either.
we
No, because we drove from Vancouver directly to Wicked Woods.
You know,
That
so,
was
like,
a
the
long
full-
drive.
the full trip was that like okay, Paul also fucking took it for driving this. Like he's a beast. Leaves from
Dude, you're a beast.
just
driving.
we left from we left from Wubs in the Woods. He left a day early, drove to Vancouver, and then me and Frank went back to our house. We slept for a day. Frank had to pack all his stuff to go back to Europe in like a 2-day time frame or something like that. And then the next day we had like 2 days to pack. Then we took a flight to Vancouver, met Paul, we partied for 2 days, and then we all drove, what it was like 13 or 14 hours or something to Wicked Woods.
It was
Yeah.
ridiculous long.
It wasn't that far, but
It wasn't that
I think
far,
it's- No, I think it's only like it might be 8 hours maybe from Vancouver. It's not that far because it's in Fairmont.
It was ridiculous. It was.
It wasn't a short drive.
Wasn't a
I
short
drive
drive.
all the time, by the way, for my job.
No,
But
yeah.
that's why it feels shorter to me because I'm always in my truck like 24/7.
That was impressive, but it was
Everything
long.
feels
like,
shorter to you, Paul.
Well, it depends what you're referencing, Tom.
I think you know what I'm referencing.
I know what you know I'm referencing.
That was a good
Yeah,
drive.
so
That was
Frankie
long.
hooked us up. Frankie was playing, hooked us up with the artist passes. Thank
Yes.
you for that, Frankie. That was a very nice gesture.
Yeah, it was both Paul and I's first time to go to Wicked Woods, and holy shit, what a
We got the
what
royal
a treat
treatment
that was.
by
That place-
Danielle. Yeah, she gave us like a big teepee for all of us, and they hooked us up with all of the mattresses and sleeping bags and all the things. Shout out to Danielle and crew for making that happen. That was amazing time. Super comfy,
Yeah.
super fun.
So good. So yeah. So
A
Frankie.
lot of homies too.
Tommy got his songs played like 2 or 3 times.
You too.
Rumpus played our collab, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we all went on stage and played our Mommy remix together.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was sick.
Again,
Those pictures were just looking so fucking
That was
This is
one
one
of the best
video?
pictures ever.
there's this one video I have on my phone, and it's Frankie, and you had like hidden a vape behind a banana, and you like
That's right.
he like vapes out of the banana, and I put that on my story, and it was the most engagement I got on anything all year. Everyone's like, oh, that's crazy. I gotta go to
Like,
Canada. They're
How
vaping
did you
bananas
just
on
vape
stage.
out of the banana.
I saw it in real life, and I was like, Frank, let me hit that banana, and you gave me the banana, and I actually tried to suck from it. I was like, this isn't working.
Those babes that Ben got in. Oh no, you got me into it, Paul. Those Mr. Fox. You and Ben
Yeah.
really got me into it.
Yeah, I
So
got
delicious. Hey,
They're so good. I'm trying to
They're
quit. I'm
so
on the Nicorette.
oh my
Okay.
god, dude.
Oh,
Just so
Nice.
you know, in BC, you can get Nicorette for free for 3 months. from the government to help you quit smoking, not to get free Nicorette because that would be using the system improperly.
Of course.
If you're serious about quitting smoking, PC will hook you up.
Go to PC and buy some gum. Dude, those Mr. Fox, oh my God. They're just... You know they're a terrible product because they're just the greatest product. I got hooked on this one. That the first one that I tried was the one that you gave. There was Ben. You gave me the other one, but it was the Dream Crumble. It tastes like tiramisu, like fucking dessert. It was just wow.
Yeah.
Super hooked on this thing.
I quit vaping in March or something, and Frank, our whole relationship basically has never vaped at all, and I've just been sucking back these things like just every time I see him, he's like, Tommy, you're addicted to these vapes. I'm like, whatever, Frank. And then this summer he starts vaping the Fogs. He's like, Tommy, these are so delicious. Like, what is this magic in my mouth? And I'm like, okay, Frank. And then he's like, we get up one day and I'm like, we should get some coffee. He's like, Tommy, you bring me to the vape store? And I was like, why, Frank? He's like, I need some tiramisu in my life. And then we go in there, and it's like in a candy shop. He's like, oh, look at this flavor. Should I get blueberry? Should I get tiramisu? Oh my God, banana. Oh my goodness.
Dude, the best day of my life. It was like purely vacation time for sure. I went in with all the vapes. And here you don't find that brand, which is the best. But also, apparently, next year, I don't know when it starts. I would say January 1st, but I'm not sure. But for sure, next year, here in Amsterdam, I guess in the Netherlands, it's going to be forbidden to sell flavored vapes. So if the vape tastes delicious, it's forbidden. Like, what? Motherfuckers. I mean, of course, it makes sense. It's got to taste like cigarettes, or nicotine or something. So people know that it's bad. But if it tastes good, basically it's out of the market. So
see, I get why they do something like that because
me too.
It's super addictive and it's like they're way too good until bad for you. But you were a kid, you should be able to choose. I get it. It's like protecting the kids. But I feel like they should still be able to sell it.
I agree. It should be something that is like, wow, like some strawberry. I need some strawberries in my mouth right now.
That's why the USA, that is great because they'll just sell anything cheap.
Oh my God, yeah. So it's gone. I literally until last week I threw a bunch of shit, and apparently, so you use the Mr. Fog and then it's done. Well, I guess all the other ones too, but then you don't use it, and I used to throw them out. But then you can keep him, and then you can suck you can get like a hoop out of every day or every 2 days. Yeah, so I would just go after it was done. After it stopped working, I would just put it there, and every day come like at noon. I'm like, okay, after lunch, like, oh baby, dessert. And then that's all one puff. One puff. That's all you get after you let it pass.
Yeah, I know. I would be carrying around like a bag of them.
In
my work bag of like old vapes because you can just like shuffle through them and like a couple.
Yeah, I learned that trick too late. I wasted a bunch of other ones that just gone. I would have kept sucking.
That's why they ban them because that's a problem. It is. You're that addicted, like shuffling through all these smoke vapes and in your bag like 3 months.
So someone's gotta work. It's just not good. Give me that pop. It's just not good. Not good at all. But then the weekend was great. It was a good time. Yeah,
I think it was because of like the novelty of it, because it was the first time I've been there. But that was my favorite festival of last year, just because I thought the stages were
so good,
so good. Well done. Like the video projection mapping on that main stage was so crazy. The Unicorn Lounge was dope.
All the artists
were just sick as fuck there.
Yeah.
All like the wood sculptures there are so like creepy and like, you know what I mean? Like how everything's designed there. Creepy in a good way, like very unique.
So and then the lookout is so great.
Oh my God, the view.
Great.
That's where we came up with this like podcast. Me and like we were like sitting by looking at this thing at like 5 a.m. We're like, we should start a podcast.
That's right. You came by that's like, right. We have an idea. I think it was Sticky Bots maybe playing, which was a fantastic set. I mean, I've always loved Sticky Bots, but that set was something unique, man. It was a whole other thing. He put a bunch of like Latin sounds. It was such a different.
he
drum
goes
and bass
all
kind of set.
on like the BPM range though. Like he's playing house,
Wow.
like dubstep,
All of it.
like,
Yes.
Man, I
Oh,
just
it
listened
was
to his drum and bass
magic.
mix that he
Magic,
put out.
magic.
Really, really solid. If you're looking, like, I just never heard so like the low end so clear in my headphones. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, he's looking dope and fucking playing, and he brought some Latin shit because he lived in Paraguay for a whole year. It was majestic. So I think it was that set when you guys came back from
Yeah,
looking
I
at the
guess-
dudes smoking vapes.
yeah, we have that idea.
baby.
Yeah, baby. That's the idea, Frankie. Okay. Who was your favorite? So was that your favorite set of the summer, Frank?
Oh, I don't remember, but there was just so many good sets for sure. But right now that I can remember, I love that one specifically because it was the return of Sticky Butts, but also because he was living again in Paraguay and all that thing. But also it was different. It was
Yeah.
It was different from all of the drum and bass sets, kind of all like that style that I heard from all the festivals. That was great, but of course there's more. I will have to think about it, but that's
Yeah, that's
definitely
hard
up there. It's a
For
top
me,
three
it was
sure.
Dr. Fresh. I just he made me move. I was jumping. I was
At
just I
Shambhala.
was like a little kid in a candy shop. Yeah, when he played, I loved that set.
Yeah, no,
West End was really impressive as well. I found
West End was amazing.
West End was sick.
he blew me
West
away.
End
West End
sick.
was
I thought how good West End
really,
was.
really dope.
Yeah.
I really liked Sivs at Wicked Woods.
Saves everywhere was fantastic. Saves was
Shout
just
out
good.
Sivs, you little beauty. Such a
I
crazy
fucking
good
love
DJ.
Sivs.
Like, holy smokes.
So good. All of them. I saw her play Shambhala, Wicked Woods, and The Womp, I think is what it was. Yeah, all of them killer sets. All of them.
You know, here's one out of left field though. Nick Degree at Wubs in the Woods blew me
Holy
away.
Oh
shit.
my god.
Dude.
That was
Yeah.
also he also
Yeah.
brought all this music. He called it, what was it, a piano or something?
I'm a piano. I'm a
I'm
piano.
a piano, yes, from South Africa.
The first time I heard about that genre, I was talking to this guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a piano," and I was like,
Yeah, I'm a guitar. That was an amazing set, dude. I love that set from him. Also, Tim, haven't seen him play in so long, and then he's like,
I think that was my favorite set of the summer. I think that was my
professional
favorite set.
Yeah,
so
Nick
well
Degree.
done.
He was
So
impressive.
well done. It
Yeah.
was ridiculous good. It was ridiculous. And then I like the guy called Thor at Shambhala. It was to close the I forgot the name of the stage. The one in the woods.
Grove.
The Grove. Yeah, it was like this weird, awesome house set. So
I didn't
good,
like
too.
that. That was probably one of my least favorite stage. Personally, for my music taste, I didn't like.
Yeah, no, same. And it was just like a recommendation for many people, and we ended up just finishing the night there. And I found Saves over there with this gigantic banner that said enjoying and should having. And it was just so funny to see with that fucking banner just bouncing around. But
Yeah.
then that was the set. So I never really went to that stage that much, but that was a good closer. But at the Fractal, like when we spent that night at the Fractal, it was
That
just
night at the
such a
Fractal was bonkers.
fine, just heat
Yeah, that
after
was
heat.
one of the most
All the
crazy-
sets were
I
just.
think that
Oh, yeah.
night my favorite set was of the Fractal was Neon Steve's. He played like an almost all original set, and I was just blown away. Like, actually,
and he finished with drum and bass. Just,
Yeah, his set and the Sponges. Those are my favorite at Shams, I think.
Yeah,
They're-
Sponges was
Okay.
good. I'm not a
Oh,
huge
actually,
Neon
no.
Steve fan.
Chris Lorenzo was my favorite set at
the
Shams.
Sponges was
He
dope.
blew me the fuck away.
I will say though, when he got up there though, and like, because it wasn't music like that. So when like Chris Lake Tech House came on, like some of the best tech house in the world, probably arguably, on that sound system at Pagoda was like, whoa,
Holy
like,
fuck, guys!
it
That's
sounded
Sucker.
so good.
that is one thing we got to chat about. So people that live in Canada and that are going to festivals with PK Sound or just Canadian festivals in general, we are so friggin' lucky. Holy shit.
Honestly, yeah.
After going to Malta for a Defected party and then ADE, which is arguably one of the biggest dance events in the entire world, and going to
with different
several-
arenas too.
several arena parties, several small parties and festivals all at once. I gotta say, all the festivals that I went to, even the small ones, Wubs and the Wubs, the Womp, Wicked Woods,
We're-
and Shams,
We're spoiled with PK
a
sound. man.
billion times better. The sound is like the bass is on another level.
True.
Like I was so excited to go to Europe and see all these cool artists, and the bass was like like it was there, but it was like rumbly compared to like Shams and Wicked Woods and like the PK. It is thick, it's in your chest, and it just sounds so good. We are lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, the Pagoda is crazy. I thought that was probably the
Crazy.
best sound was the Pagoda. Probably, I thought. It's the only thing that sucked about Fractals. You get a bit of bleed from the Village.
That's true. But I
feel like there was something.
Whatever your fractal is loud. I do like that. But you can, it's true. You can leak a bit from.
I feel like there was some issue going on with like power, like putting power towards different stages at Sean this year, because there was times when Fractal was pounding, and then I'd go to like. I found the Village was always pounding. There was times when Fractal was pounding, and there was times when Pagoda was pounding, and then there was other times when I'm like, oh, I can talk to you in the crowd, and it's not that loud. So I think they were like allocating different resources.
It could have been gain staging too. Like sometimes they'll do that like throughout the night, and also like dubstep's going to be at like 2 luffs, and like all the house music's quieter. Did we lose Frank?
No. I'm here. It's just like.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, I fucking hate dubstep. I just fucking hate dubstep. There's no way that I can ever like dubstep. Okay. I try so hard, but I fucking hate it.
We do give dubstep a hard time. So let's just say this: the disclaimer: all music genres are cool.
Yeah.
They are, and everyone likes different kinds of music. And then Tommy's taste isn't dubstep, and that's okay for Tommy to say that.
Yeah.
If you like,
I don't care about anybody liking dubstep.
Yeah, it's cool if you like dubstep.
Want to buy a van and drive off
just shut it off when you come close to me.
But here you don't hear dubstep. I think the dubstep is very well, of course, in the UK, but it's definitely rooted in West Canada. All the dubstep, all the funky things. Here it's just straight techno, and then there's a whole other wave of hardstyle, and it's just like really super fast.
I fucking love that dark techno, baby.
Some good sounds, some weird sounds, but just fast, and just that those are the two things basically you hear here, like house or like techno, and then like super fast techno, and then that also melts with a little bit of like hardstyle, sometimes psytrance, but not really, more hardstyle. But yeah, you don't get other stuff. Like in Canada, we have the whole range of amazingness. I love that. I love being able to just have, be influenced by all types of music from the different corners of electronic music. That's a privilege that we have in Canada. At least in West Canada, I don't even know if the East is the same.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't even know what goes on over there. Sometimes it feels like West is so very separate from East. But one observation I will say on dubstep, I do like dubstep, some of it, especially the older stuff. But I feel like what's ruining dubstep is this tear out shit. This tear out dubstep when it's like machine gun chugs and stuff is just like, how can you listen to that for just like more than 5 minutes? It hurts my feelings.
Yeah. No, I mean, the different sounds are good or not. But yeah, what I want to say about that is that when music is really intense, it could be dubstep, it could be hardstyle, it could be some low bass shit, but when music is really intense, too much of it, it just it gets you down, it wears you down.
Exhausting.
It becomes a little that, but when it's too much of something intense, whatever the genre, which is why I love house music so much, and I guess you guys are the same. But I like all the genres, but I know that house music, I can, and my wife asked me this sometimes. She's like, okay, if you go to heaven or hell, I guess, and you can pick just one music genre to listen forever, which one would you pick? She actually picks reggae, because we love reggae too. But I would pick house at any time, because I know that I can play house music at different times of the day, and it's gonna be good. And of course, like caring for the day, like different types of house music. But house music will get me through any day at different times. That's why I love it, and I know that I can take that always, and it's gonna be good. But other more intense genres is hard to take in for too long, and that's it. But I like a good fucking head bob at the Village.
when I came to
I used to
visit
go to
Frank,
Excisions shows at the village, and it was just just head bumping. It was amazing. It was a
It's
vibe.
fun a little bit. It is fun for a bit.
when I went to visit Frank in Amsterdam, I was like, he was him and his wife were in their bedroom cuddling, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to this like we were picking the shows we were going to for ADE, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to these drum and bass artists I love. They're called Hybrid Minds. They're so beautiful. And I had shown Frank earlier in the day, and he's like, oh, liquid drum and bass. He's like, no, thank you, I'm not going. And I was like, okay. And then he was telling his wife that, and she's like, Tommy, come in here. Show me what stuff you're playing, or you're going the show that you're going to play. And I come in there all excited, and Frank's like, no, it's liquid drum and bass. She's like, ugh. Like, never mind, I don't want to hear it. I'm like, no, but there's vocals and emotions, and it's so good. She's like, you keep that to yourself, please.
Like, we don't like emotions. We like the dirty bass, like drum and bass. Just make it bassy and dirty and filthy. And like, I'm into it for sure. But yeah, I do prefer the drum and bass over the dubstep. But yeah,
drum and bass for sure.
Drum and bass is great.
Yeah.
Same
But
thing,
again,
though, sometimes it can be a bit exhausting. I can only do that
also,
so long.
no, same. Exactly.
That's what I liked about like
change,
sets like Sticky Buds and Neon
Buds,
Steve
fucking
and stuff.
amazing.
Like when you go through that whole genre, like array of genres, it's very nice. Like throughout the whole thing, you're like, oh, they switched up with this. It's like cool, different vibes. You get a taste of everything. It's really hard to do, but man, the people that are really good at it, they kill it so hard. I love it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think like that's the nice thing about it's like that in other genres, but house you can literally have such a wide range of energy in a house too. Like just the subgenres of house like are so all encompassing, from like pop to like crazy like electro house that like Dr. Fresh Signs, stuff like that.
Yeah, it kind of goes chill, funky, slow, but it's all house. Still change the vibe, but still being house.
Yeah,
and then take it as hard as you want in vibe, but also BPM.
Been a crazy year for music.
Tell us what's coming for you, if you can tell us, Paul, what's coming for you with your music.
We got
if you can.
Yeah, give us some highlights of the last little bit.
You've been fucking killing it with releases here and there. Just tell us a bit about that actually before we close.
Nicky Romero played one of our last song that came out on
that was with Prayer Hands, right?
Yeah, with Prayer Hands on Protocol Radio. That's probably the biggest thing I'd say right now. There's some more things coming that he's referencing that I don't know if I should say.
Okay.
Hey, let's rewind it back a little bit. Control Room over here. It's Paul and Caleb, these fucking beauties. Released their first song on D&D Records, which is Bijou's label this year. Killing the game. These guys just started producing a couple years ago. Played their first festival last year, Webs in the Woods. I've been slaying it. Fucking look at this, like
slaying it.
Great personalities, just fun overall dudes. Honestly, just beauties in general, and that's
Thank you.
Love these boys.
Total fucking boys.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Okay. Well.
No, but wait. So you've been killing it super hard with music, and then Tommy too. Tommy has become the king of the remix on the bass house charts on Hyped. You've been releasing with a ton of people, with us, with Monkey Toy, with Control Room. You just released with Pino and Loeb.
Three number ones.
You have more.
It's been a good year. So
three number ones this year.
That mommy remix that we all did got to number 2 on the charts. Pretty freaking badass.
Yeah, that number 1 was just so hard to get. But
that was hard to get.
Close.
It also has something to do with like timing, I'm feeling, and like all that shit. But had a number 1.
Number 2.
I remixed Green Velvet's Laser Beam songs. That was the first number 1. Then Frank and I
Laser Beams
bangers.
Laser Beams. Then Frank and I worked on a track in Amsterdam. It was a remix of Daddy Yankee's Gasolina. That went to number 1, super sick. And then I just released one with Pino and Loeb that just came out like last Monday.
The Kill Bill one.
And it's shot straight to number 1. It's number 20 on the overall charts like still today. And it's still at number 1, and that one went really well. And yeah, I just got a bunch of sweet shit. Like we've all been talking. And this is what's cool about what we talk about off camera, and we should probably start talking about it on camera, but like how much we love music and how into this we are. We're always trying to look for feedback. We're always trying to like give each other like tips on our tracks, motivate ourselves to just be better and push harder and be the best at this like craft, and that's what we want to do. Like we're like homies, and we want to just make music and do this forever. That's the goal, and that's why we kind of all bonded and came together.
For the love of music. Yeah,
The love of
baby.
music. Tommy, you need to gas up Monkey Twerk before we leave here.
Oh, baby. And our friend Monkey Twerk over here to my right. What a sexy, handsome devil. Although he shaved his sexy beard over here and he had this long, luscious locks that had been growing all summer. And now he looks like a handsome little supermodel. Is this a Colombian Justin Bieber over there? I see.
I don't have releases lately. But I wasn't making too much music for releases, but I also because I was in Colombia doing the documentary about Colombian traditional music, and that's a whole other project with music too, but not well, it is the idea is to make house music remixes. Well, not remixes, tunes inspired on Colombian sounds from different places. So I went and interviewed a bunch of people, and that's a project too. And that will come next summer. But yeah, also making music. Excited to. I've been making a whole new wave of music inspired
Killed
by
the
all
DJ game. Monkey
All
Twerk.
day.
killed-
Hey,
has been
this
killed.
modest motherfucker over here.
Yeah, playing
He's fucking-
Shambhala,
Playing Shams, headlining Shams, headlining fucking Wicked Woods, running the Womp, playing literally a festival every week, Wubs in the Woods headlining, Vibes headlining, Emotions headlining, throwing down all his own shit. We worked on the first song together at the beginning of the year. It's called What Is This Is Love? And it came out on Two Dutch Records, and it
Also
got
true,
supported
yes.
by Spinnin', Kashmir, I think I sent you that. It got played by Benny Benassi and Idris Elba.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Idris Elba,
Yeah.
such a gangster. Holy shit.
Such a
And
gangster. So yeah, no.
He's working on tunes.
was
We've
in-
been working on tunes together. Actually, one more story before we go. So we were like all vibing out after the Vibes Festival, and Frank, we came back. We were driving back. We were listening to that one song,
Lovely Day.
Lovely Day. Yeah, we were both playing it in separate cars, like vibing back. We get back
That's
and
a
we're
good
like
moment, too.
just eating chips and watching movies. It's just a little chill recovery day. And then Frank's
That's
like,
true. Yes.
he's like, oh, like he's like, it'd be a sick song, like that Electric Avenue song, like. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like,
Avenue.
I'm pretty hungover. But like, should we
were
go
so
up to the studio?
tired at that moment, and we just did it too. Yeah, I
And we put it
forgot
together.
that.
And I think that's going to be coming out in January. We got to finish it up here right away, but
Yeah,
we
yeah,
knocked
yeah,
that one
yeah.
out of the park. And then we finished most of it, but then Frank was like, "Hey, let's finish this, and I'll play it at Wicked Woods." So during a set of Wicked Woods, we were actually picking up his wife from
From
the airport.
Calgary.
Banff.
Paul kept on driving forever. Holy
we drove to
fuck.
Banff, grabbed her. all
Grabbed her,
together.
and then me
Banff
and
to
me and
Banff,
Frank in the
yes.
back, we
And
were just
came
like
back.
had headphones on. We would like finish the mix down while driving to Banff, picked her up, and then played it that night. Like
Played
how
that
sick
night,
was that?
That's
Also
pretty sick.
true. Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Yes.
good moments like that. It was a pretty banging summer.
It's a banging summer.
I want to
love you
brag
guys.
on how
I
I have
love
a
you
really,
guys.
really good idea though that we're gonna remix. You know that song, like the Flash song, like Flash. Oh, that he.
Flash.
That's a good idea.
Universe.
Yes, all the good old timers are just hitting
know,
hard
yeah.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah, all those
but this
melodies.
is so that's a little bit about all of us. Everyone's hardworking and killing it in their own respects.
Let's go.
And
Let's go around one quick thing around the table. What's your guys' expectations for 2022? What's some goals? What do you guys want to do in 2022?
Yeah, for us is to try and start playing every week. I would say every other week, I guess, probably more so. And yeah, just keep doing the label ladder climb. We got some good ones. We actually just signed a really good record with a good label.
Nice.
So we have one. We had one last year. We'll say let's try and get two or better this year. Two big signings.
Hell yeah.
All
Right.
right. Yeah, for me the same. I've been working a lot on my sound and changing the sound and making it more of a mix of North American influences and European influences. So definitely getting more into two different directions depending on the record labels, more like funky house or like really techier house. So working on that same thing, trying to apply to labels and but definitely defining that sound. And the two main things is the WOMP, of course, pushing the WOMP a lot over there in Canada. And here we started a whole new project. We were throwing boat parties in Amsterdam. And now since it's the winter, we started a whole new project called Pulse. And then Pulse is basically the new parties that we're going to be throwing in Amsterdam, whether it's a boat or not. So that's another project that I'll be pushing a lot. So my focus will be a lot in Amsterdam on pushing those parties, and of course, it's time to get some festival gigs over here. So it's gonna be a fun year. New
Frank's
things.
also a fucking wizard at design, and he comes up with all the logos for everything, and just like his like just artistic eye on things. He's a badass like that, and
I love that shit. I love that shit.
The new. I like the Pulse. All the branding on the Pulse looks sick. You killed it on that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that brand too, and the new WOMP image too. By the way, there's a new image too for the WOMP.
Sounds sexy.
I've been really getting into. Well, I do a lot of graphic design, but also now getting into motion graphics and all that. So yeah, excited for all of our projects going into music and bringing in also the visual aspect of it. It's gonna be a fun year. How about you, Tommy? What's happening on your future?
Yes, my plan was half of 2022 was shit out a bunch of remixes. I accomplished that. Got a name kind of built up, and now I'm working just exclusively on. I'll be putting less remixes, but more originals, and signing to as big as labels as possible, collaborating with like all the homies, just to make music and really working on. Like we've all been talking about this, but we're all just like pushing ourselves really hard to be super original and like just do something that not everybody else is doing, and we're trying to just define that fucking sound.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. So yeah, you can find us hopefully coming to a city near you. We're going to be hopefully playing all the fucking festivals in the summer. And if you'd like to come or have us come play at your festival or your show, you can hit us up. There'll be links everywhere to find us. And yeah.
Yeah. Love you guys so much.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening to Yeah Baby episode 1.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.